Michael J. Coyle here with Get Your Rock Out. I'm here with Ben Falgus and Simon Dewey of Goatwhore. How you guys doing today?
Damn good, doing good. Now we have these beverages.
Nice.
Yes.
So you guys haven't been back in the UK since the Skeleton Witch tour, have you?
Yeah, but that was
Temples Festival.
Well, Temples. I'm saying, I wanted to go to Temples Fest, but goddamn the price. So how you guys thinking about Bloodstock today?
it's going to be a pretty interesting evening. I mean, we close the whole thing out. It's pretty unique.
That's badass.
I don't know any other word to explain it at this point. I wouldn't say stressed out, but because, we're playing after Slayer plays.
Yeah, that's right.
It's kind of edgy.
It's kind of like surreal in a way, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you mean. It's like, I remember a few times when I've seen you guys, I've been like trying out on Bloodstock, and now finally you guys are here. I mean, have you had time to explore the festival? Have you had time to see what this UK Metal Fest has to offer?
We saw the parking lot over there.
The most we saw today was the parking lot, and in this area back here to do it. Not on purpose though, just because we were in mainland Europe doing a lot of festival stuff and everything. We played Belgium yesterday, crossed the ferry this morning, drove all the way up here. So it's basically like park, get here for this, and then we'll have a little window of opportunity before we play to kind of roam around and check some things out and see what's going on. So. Nice. And then tonight we have to split back to Germany after we play. We get back doing things.
Well, so a bit of a tight schedule, eh? It's like first here, rush the airport, and there we go, back off to another European isle.
I wish we were going back to the airport to fly to Germany, but we got to drive to Germany.
Oh, you got to drive, right. So really, the weather this weekend is pretty cool. As everyone can see, I've quite burned a bit. So I got my
look at that,
wristbands right there.
You look like me after Summer Slaughter.
I've seen pictures, dude. I can. So you're still going on the album run, aren't you? Now for the latest record so far, and so far so good. I think I asked this last time, but how do you feel the process of the new record has been going in terms of this tour in general?
I think everything's been really good for Constricting Rage. Right now, we're working on new material for the next one. We're going in the studio in like October to go record, and we don't really want to play any of the new stuff live yet. We're just not in that kind of zone, so we're just still sticking to like Constricting Rage and then older material and stuff. And definitely like today, since we have such a longer set, we're pulling stuff from like the first and second record that we usually don't play. A lot of people definitely will be unfamiliar with it because this area, but. And just in general, those records didn't really get out as much.
I get you, man.
So, it'll be a new experience for people in that fashion. But overall, Constricting got a really good response, and everything's been going really well with it. So we just kind of keep moving forward with everything and do what we do as Goatwhore.
That's awesome. So is there anything new in the works expected for the coming years?
Yeah, new record, hopefully in April next year, something like that.
Hopefully sooner than that, but you never know what could happen.
Scheduling, it takes
it takes
months.
Forever.
You got to battle against some other kind of weird band that came out and release dates and all that other kind of shit.
Well, I know the last record was, and the record before that was produced by Mr. Eric Rutan, wasn't it?
Yes, actually, Mr. Eric Rutan has done the last 4 records.
I remember when we first started talking years back. I'm just wondering, is Eric doing the work on this one, or is he focusing more on Hate Eternal's tour recently?
Well, he's got his own thing going, of course. He has a studio. He still does a lot of records. He still does the Hate Eternal thing a lot. I think this time, we're just taking a different route and how we're going to record things and mix and stuff like that. So we're going to kind of go off the path a little bit. Take a little more poisonous direction per se.
And how does that make you guys feel? I mean, I know for the past 4 records, Eric has been producing it, pushing you. I remember when I first talked to you, you were saying he was pushing you to actually do your utmost best. I mean, who do you have planned in terms of producer-wise this time?
Yeah, it's just kind of, we don't really have that information all locked in yet, so we're not going to everything's kind of still up in the air on what's going to happen with that. But I think Eric kind of molded us into a lot of aspects as far as recording, you know.
I think working with Eric actually will make us work harder than we should in a studio from being so used to working with Eric and knowing what we have to do. You know, instead of just having some dude that would just let shit slide, I think we'll go in there and be like, no, that's not the way we work, you know.
Yeah, it's kind of like we'll probably be more critical than the engineer at times because of the, you know, it's kind of like we're hardwired after doing 4 records with Eric on, you know, he expected us to do certain things, and I think being in there and recording in that fashion, we kind of expect ourselves to do those certain things.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's kind of rubbed off in a sense, you know. I think in the relationship between us and Eric Rutan and recording and doing records, it was kind of like double-sided. There was aspects where he greatly affected us, and there was aspects that we kind of opened his ideas a little bit more about variation of things. We were a little bit dirtier band. We liked things more rock and rollish, where Rutan was like really into like the idea, you know, like the Morbid Angel kind of Hate Eternal thing. And when we went in there and we worked together, we both opened up to each other about different aspects on recording and how things are and different, you know, tones and stuff like that. So I think it was a very mutual kind of relationship when we did all those records together.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I remember as well that you once told me that during the recording process of the last record, you were listening to a lot of Queen to actually help you in the booth to try and get that kind of tempo, if I recall.
Well, yeah, it's just you know, I used to read a lot about it, like Queen early days when they record and things like that, and like with the last record we did it on 2-inch, and then a new record we're going to do it on 2-inch tape. And I mean, if you look back at the Night of Opera, it was like an insane thing to be done on 2-inch tape, and they had cut it and spliced and done all this fucking crazy shit with it. And I mean, no, we're by no means Queen, but there's aspects about those recording things that kind of
pushing it forward.
Yeah.
And also, I see that somebody's got a new V on board now. I remember last time you were using your last custom, you got a new ESP custom V, don't you?
No, that one I had to use. I've been having that one for a while. I had some problems with the original baby that I had, but the original baby is back in action, so I'm using that one again.
Because I remember when we spoke last, you were saying about how the single pickup wasn't doing as much as you would want, and I was wondering, is there a chance that maybe ESP, if they're watching, might actually want to sign you on board for a signature deal?
Actually, I wouldn't want that because I like having the only ones on the earth.
There you go. There you go.
Like everybody else having my stuff. That kind of pissed me off a little bit because I'd be like, let me play that one. I'd play better than the one that I have. I'd be like, give me that one.
So in the recent months that you guys been on the road, what do you think has been one of the most interesting moments on this album run for you guys? Like, through your time touring, what would you say has stood out for you in terms of new fans and, of course, old fans?
That's a good question.
I mean, just recently doing a lot of these festivals, we never really in the past done like this set, you know, schedule of festivals through Europe, like Partisan, Brutal Assault, Bloodstock, you know, things like that. And I think playing those is definitely kind of open your eyes about a lot of things. You see things a lot differently as far as the scene in Europe and in the UK and how people accept bands on any caliber, from the lowest to the highest, whatever kind of band you're doing. You know, it's just like doing Brutal Assault. And like at Brutal Assault, we played first on a smaller stage off to the side, and it was a tented thing, and it was packed. You know, all the way to watching someone later in the evening play a main stage and it's packed. So, you know, you sit there and you think, oh, we're playing first on this thing, it'll be cool. But then you come out and you're like, holy shit, all these people are here early just to start the day and get going with this, and they're going to be here all until the fucking night.
That's right.
You know?
So we're down to our last 3 questions, and the first one is, what would you say you guys have learned from the road on this album in terms of, through this record, it's very different from Blood for the Master, and for any fans watching now, what would you say you have gained musically from supporting these big bands? Because I know that you guys have been through the Summer Slaughter so far. You guys have been through a lot of big festivals right now over in Europe. I'm wondering, what have you gained musically which fans could actually take off you guys?
I don't really know. I mean, the only thing I could say is that we're probably playing in front of a lot of new ears, faces, you know.
Never even heard us before, heard of us before, you know.
But the fact that too that they're all, it's like when you play and sometimes people aren't really, going crazy or anything, but they're all in this tent and they're watching you and they're not leaving. Then you're like, well, you got to be doing something right if they're not all just walking out, or otherwise they don't want to go outside in the rain or something like that. But you know, I mean, we just take what we do on the road and then we just put it to this. You know, we don't know any different. We tour a bunch, as you know, and we play all these little venues and we do different tours. You know, like we did the Skeleton Witch tour, we did the Dying Fetus tour, and we just go out there and we play and we do our thing. Yeah, and 3 Inches of Blood.
That's when I first saw you guys.
And so then we take that idea and then we just come and present it in this kind of fashion. We don't know that there's any kind of like different. This is just what we do. This is how we are. This is how we play. And we just come and
That's
present
awesome.
in this kind of fashion.
And for the last 2 questions, we'll make them as one. To any fans watching at home right now, and any advice you give them, what would it be and why?
Any advice?
Yeah.
That's a good question. Save your money and avoid the police at all costs.
There you go.
Especially in Germany.
I agree.
Anywhere in the world.
Well, you know, Ben, Sammy, it has been a pleasure seeing you guys again, always. This is my 4th time interviewing you guys. I gotta say, for anyone at home, check out Goatwhore. You will not be displeased. I'm Michael J. Coyle of Get Your Rock Out. As always, get your fucking rock out.